Before we start the movie, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all our new content. Our movie begins with Ludica, a poor girl living alone, being chased by a group of delinquent young men who have sinister intention. Fortunately, a naval officer named Francisco, who is on leave to visit his mother and sisters, sees her. While Ludica is trying to resist the men and prevent them from attacking her, Francisco steps out of his car, and the men flee as soon as they see him. He asks her if they stole anything from her, but she replies that they always harass her and have bad intentions. Francisco is then surprised to realize that Ludica is the same little girl he once loved, and he's shocked at how much she has grown up. She tells him, "Of course, you didn't expect me to grow up like this." He tries to pretend that he has forgotten her and walks away, but she reminds him of his promise to marry her. This brings back memories for him, especially when he sees the place where they used to meet. She says, "I never forgot you, and I dream of being your wife." He is moved by her words and feels the same way, but he doesn't want to make another promise to marry her. When she gets closer to him and starts to get upset, he responds, "My sister is sick, and I have to visit her," and he leaves her with his necklace as a promise that one day he will fulfill her dream and marry her. She is overjoyed by this promise, and they then go to visit Miri, Francisco's sister from his mother's side, who lives with her sister and mother as servants in the mansion of Don Simon, one of the richest men in France. Miri is a very mischievous girl and is infatuated with Don Simon's grandson, constantly watching him without him noticing. However, the doorbell interrupts her spying, and when she goes to see who it is, she is surprised to find her brother Francisco, who hands her an envelope and says, "Give this envelope to Mom," then leaves. We then discover that 3 years ago, their mother found out that Francisco was using drugs and having inappropriate relationships with the mansion's maids, so she sent him to work in the Navy. Miri says to him, "Do you want to disappear for another 3 years?" and then adds, "Take the envelope and give it to your mother yourself." But he refuses and says, "I won't let her see me until I become worthy of her," then leaves, leaving Miri heartbroken. Back at the mansion, Miri tries every way to get Don Simon's grandson's attention, but he's not interested in her because he's in love with Janet, the wife of a famous businessman named Junior. Don Simon's grandson secretly watches Janet, even while she is praying in church, and takes pictures of her without anyone noticing. When he returns home, Miri follows him everywhere, even when he goes to the bathroom, but he shuts the door in her face. When he gets hungry, he goes downstairs without his clothes on, and Catherine, Miri's sister, sees him and feels embarrassed, running to the kitchen. The servants laugh at him while they prepare for a big party hosted by Don Simon, inviting the wealthiest people in France, including Junior and his wife Janet. At the party, Don Simon's grandson continues to take pictures of Janet. When Junior notices, he asks his wife, and she says, "He's just a crazy guy." But when she sees Janet joking around with Rose, a famous actress, she feels jealous. Even Miri is jealous and watches him from the mansion's balcony. The next day, Don Simon's grandson tries to get closer to Janet and asks her to ride in his car. She gets angry and says, "Don't you know whose wife I am?" He responds, "Of course I know, but I'm also Don Simon's grandson." She is taken aback by his boldness and gets in the car, saying, "If my husband sees you, he'll kill you." She then hides when she sees her husband's driver. He takes her to his house, and when she asks, "What do you want from me?" he says, "I really like you, and I love you." She laughs and says, "You're young enough to be my son." She is startled when her husband calls her, and he grabs the phone and turns off the tracking system so Junior won't know her location. When he confesses his love for her, and she weakens under his words, they end up having a relationship. Later, when she realizes that it's getting late, she rushes to leave and says, "What happened will not happen again," and adds, "But that doesn't change the fact that you're sweet and romantic, unlike what I expected." Then she leaves quickly. When she returns home, Junior is furious and suspicious, saying, "You turned off the tracking system." She lies and says, "The phone ran out of battery," but he doesn't believe her and threatens, "If I find out you're cheating on me, I will kill you." She is terrified but tries to calm the situation, and he eventually believes her due to his naivety. The next day, she is shocked to discover that Junior is also cheating on her with Catherine, who waits for him outside the school. Catherine, a poor girl longing for a life of luxury, is thrilled about this affair. She tells him about her sister Miri, who is infatuated with Don Simon's grandson, and her brother Francisco, who was kicked out by their mother due to his drug use and inappropriate relationships with the maids at the mansion. Junior takes advantage of her poverty and need for money to help with her studies and support her mother, and he starts a relationship with her, saying, "I will introduce you to the most famous actress in France, Rose." Catherine feels ecstatic, thinking her life will change. However, from Rose's glances, we sense that she is not sincere. Later, she buys Catherine new clothes and completely changes her appearance, from a maid at the mansion to a lady with servants. But Catherine is shocked when Rose suggests she work at a nightclub as an escort. Heartbroken and in tears, Catherine realizes she was fooled by Rose's false promises. She begs for taxi fare to return to the mansion. Rose gives her the money, and Catherine goes back, devastated by how people exploited her poverty. We then return to Ludica, who is still suffering from loneliness and being harassed by young men. Unluckily, she gets into a car with Rose to escape them, and Rose successfully rescues her. Rose asks her if she is in a relationship, and Ludica says, "I love someone named Francisco. He promised to marry me, and I live in hope that one day he will fulfill his promise." But Rose tries to persuade her to work with her, saying, "I will make you a star." Ludica starts to believe her, hoping to change her life. Rose prepares Ludica's belongings to take her away. Just as she opens the car door for Ludica, Francisco arrives with a bouquet of flowers, asking for her hand in marriage. Ludica is overjoyed, while Rose is frustrated but unable to stop her. Francisco takes Ludica away to marry her, and they start their new life together. Meanwhile, Junior is devastated when he discovers his wife Janet's affair with Don Simon's grandson after ordering one of his men to follow her. When she returns home unaware that he knows, he looks at her with deep sadness, then pulls out a gun and shoots her, killing her. At the same time, Catherine returns to her sister Miri in tears. Miri hugs her and takes her back to work at the mansion. Don Simon's grandson receives a call informing him that Janet was murdered after her husband discovered her betrayal. When Catherine serves him a glass of juice, she is horrified to see him standing at the window, preparing to jump. He jumps from a great height and dies instantly. On the other hand, Ludica's dreams come true as she marries Francisco, and they begin living the most beautiful moments of their lives together. And that's where our movie ends today. If you enjoyed the film, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell to stay updated with all our new content.